Welcome, welcome, welcome to the last episode in this year's Christmas gift ideas. I'm really joyful to be bringing this episode. It's, oh, I don't have words. So why don't you join us in the Quip Corner and you'll get to understand why I feel the way I feel. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the Quip Corner's Book Corner, Adria.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to see your face today.
Yeah.
Uh, Smiling face.
Yes, I'm glad that we could, find a time that worked for both of us. And I am really looking forward to hearing about your book again.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I wanted to share with the people why would you even want to read my book or look at my book? Well, it's really for you, the audience. My book is called The Joy Box Journal, and I wrote it really over the course of multiple years. My son was born in 1999, and I started writing and journaling when he was born because he was born with medical problems. He was born with spina bifida. He was also on a ventilator, and he only lived for 3 years. But I journaled the good and the bad stuff that went on just so I could have record and be able to look back and to see how God had walked us through that journey. Um, and to be able to see all the things that people were doing for us during our first 100 days of his life, he was in the hospital. And so I continued to write even after he passed away. I was asked to do some devotions for a mom's group that was meeting. And so I began to discover that I liked to write devotions. I love to share devotions. And that's what this book is. It's 40 devotions meant to inspire you, the reader, to look out for joy no matter what you're going through. All of us go through difficult times. If you haven't already, you will at one time. And I know that does not sound really hopeful, but all of us we're going to go through a difficult time in our life at some time. And we need to know, how in the world can we still have joy when times get tough?
Yeah.
Maybe you've lost a job, maybe you've lost a loved one, maybe you've lost expectations about what's going to happen in your life.
Mhm.
And so this journal is set up where it's just a short read with a scripture verse. And then at the end, I give you some questions to answer and plenty of room to journal. But one of the questions at the end might be, describe a beautiful act that you have witnessed that made you feel joy.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you might have to stop and think,
Mhm.
what was that? Or maybe you have to come back to it, or maybe you write several things. Um, the next question is, what things have you done that you believe would prompt Jesus to say, well done, or she has done a beautiful thing for me? And then there is a joy box note question at the end of each devotion. And what that is designed for is, there is a box in the front cover of my book. And the box is like a little matchbox that you put together. And at the back of the book, there are 6 little notepads, and each one is cute and colorful. They one of them might have joy to remember, joy noted, joy is. And what I have you do is, at the end of each devotion, I ask you a joy box note question. And this one is, describe the most cherished handmade item that you've ever received. And you go back to the back of your book and get one of the notepads pieces and write on it, and then put that in your box. And for generations to come, they'll be able to know what has brought you joy. And I've had people that have said, I've been through a difficult divorce, and I never thought that I could find joy from that. But it was a gentleman that told me. He said, I sat with one of these devotions and it hit me and I wept. And he said, I cried. And he said, but I was able, based on how this devotion was written, it made me stop and think. And he said, I was able to find joy even through that difficult divorce and time in my life. Um, and so that is what this book is designed to do. And it makes a great gift to give to someone, to encourage them, whatever they may be going through. And I always love to hear people's stories after they have looked at the book. And so I encourage you to find me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm usually on Facebook more. And also check out my website at adriawilkins.com. And I would love for you to reach out to me and tell me maybe what devotion inspired or encouraged you and how it helped you find joy.
Nice. I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
1 sec. I want to get something.
Okay.
When you were talking about your book, and you said one of the questions is, what's the most cherished handmade things you have received? I thought about this.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Yes, one of my children painted it for me for my birthday this year. And of
Oh,
course, yes. So,
I
and I have
love it.
many other things that are cherished, and it's difficult to pick one, but this was the most recent, I'd say, that came to mind. Listening to the way your book is set up, I was curious. After 40 devotions, then what? How do you encourage people to, stay on the lookout for joy?
Yes. So I have a podcast called Look Out for Joy, and it's on my website. You can also Google it. You could also go to Amazon and type in Look Out for Joy. But I have a podcast. I have about 75 episodes. I need to create some more. and But that's another way to continue to look out for joy. I also bring in people and interview them from time to time about some things that they've been in through their life, and
Mhm.
how they've been able to find joy. So, I have pursued doing a second book. I've got the material, but I need to figure out what that's going to continue to look like, because it's hard to get a publisher, and it takes work, all that. But it's good that you asked that question, because it made me think,
Mhm.
okay, I need to continue to provide ways for people to look out for joy and to be able
Yeah,
to find that joy in their lives.
yeah, nice, nice. And okay, well, mine isn't nearby, but I have a gratitude jar where I try to do it regularly, not every day, but I use a sticky, a post-it, and I just write what I'm grateful for. And it
Yes.
sounds like, thinking about your matchbox, it can actually grow into a bigger thing and just have that continue on the
Yes, it
lookout for
sure
joy.
can. Because I encourage people to, yes, allow that to grow. I have a huge purple plastic bin that I have written on their joy box, and I put things in there that are special to me.
Yeah.
It might be a handmade item. I know I have a shawl in there. It's red, that my grandmother made when I was younger. I have like my mom has some old dolls, and I've kept those and put those in there. And so I do encourage you to grow your joy box, because that is a small little box, but it's just to encourage you to grow your joy box. And I know there's some people that have joy rooms, and they have joy everywhere. And so I think that's really cool to surround yourself with joy. And I have my own family tells me, I try to keep it to as minimum as I can, but I don't know if it's backwards on the video. It looks straight to
Yes,
me, but I
I
have
see it. Yeah,
joy up
joy.
above me. Yeah. And I have joy like all around, and sometimes my family say there's a little too much joy in there.
I don't think
But
there's
we
anything like too much joy.
so I try to keep it, simple. I have a joy thing in my window there. I
Yeah.
have joy over there on the wall, but I don't think you could ever have too much joy. And I always also tell people that happiness and joy are two different things. Happiness is going to come and go with whatever happens in your life each day. Like I use this example a lot. One day I went to the grocery, spent a bunch of money like most people do on groceries,
Hmm.
and came home and put some stuff in my freezer. Well, later that day, my refrigerator went out. And so we had to put all of my stuff that I bought in a bunch of coolers. And then my daughter lives in town. We took some stuff over to her. I was not a happy camper. Okay. I was not. I was very sad and upset about having to babysit those coolers all day with my refrigerated meat and products that I did not want to lose and waste money
Yeah.
on. But later, after being frustrated and after all of that and getting a new refrigerator, I said to myself, you know what? I have joy and I am thankful that God even gave me the money to buy that food, but also that I can replace it if I needed to. And so it's just changing your perspective. That doesn't mean that we're not going to get we're not going to get irritated or angry from time to time with things that happen in our lives. That's where the happiness kind of comes and goes. But
Yeah.
the joy comes from having Jesus in your heart and in your life. And
Yes.
when you have him as part of your life, then everything else really needs to be like a cherry on top, because if we have that joy of Jesus, that's our baseline, and that's
Yes.
like the best place to start. And then you just keep adding the good stuff on top of it. And so I just encourage people, if they will, to accept Jesus as part of their life,
Yeah.
because he is the joy giver. And that's the only way
Yes.
that you can have joy in this world and in this life and continue even after you pass and go to heaven. So he is the true joy giver.
Amen. Amen. And that is such a beautiful bow on this episode. Thank you, Adria. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me in here today.
God bless you.
Thank you. All
That was
right.
nice. I like that bow. That was a beautiful bow on the episode.
Well, good.
That was
Well, good.
beautiful. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes, indeed. You can never have too much joy. And remember, Christmas is that time of the year when a lot of us sing Christmas carols, including Joy to the World, the Lord is come. This is a great book for you to have. I actually have a copy. I should have brought it to show you, but okay, it's not here. But I got a copy of that journal, and you truly cannot have too much joy. I look forward to reading your comments on this video and all the other videos, and remain joyful. Did you also notice the tie into gratitude, like our conversation with Randy? Yeah, joy, gratitude, they all work together for our good. I look forward to connecting with you through another episode of the Quip Corner with Adria. God bless you. Bye now.